Would you love to find exactly the right thing to sell that the market is going to gobble up? Something that's going to shoot your business straight up to the top? Earlier, I covered how to figure out what it is that you have, what makes you unique, and how to communicate it to other people in a way that they get it. Now let's talk about the market. How do you figure out what is going to sell? How do you figure out what people want? Well, what a lot of people will do is they go around with the idea that they have, they know that they have this thing to offer, and they go out and start talking, they share and share and share, and no business comes. And they don't know what to do. So you might think, well, maybe they're not on the money. Maybe they should change their idea. And so the next thing that they might do is, well, what smart marketers do, which is they survey their list or they survey their friends, because that's what you want to do to find out what people want, right? No, if you start there, if you go outside of yourself to the sea of people or to your friends to survey to find out what they want, you're not talking to your ideal client, first of all. And second of all, there's such a variety of opinions that you could be lost in that sea forever trying to figure out what is the right thing. So there is a very particular combination of what you have and what the market wants that will help you define what it is that you should sell. So how do I solve this problem? I am going to share with you exactly how I solved this problem in the companies that I worked for and in my own business, which has shot up to multiple six figures in just a few years. And I'm going to share that secret with you. So how do you solve this problem? How do you figure out what it is that they want? You solve it through sales. You actually solve it by crafting what it is that you want to sell, and then you ask people to buy it. See, when you get into a conversation with someone and you're listening to their questions and listening to their comments about what it is that you asked them to buy, that is where you learn the most valuable, useful information. You don't need to survey people. You just need to find someone who's close enough to your ideal client and make them an offer. Your offer actually gets honed in the process of trying to sell it. I'm going to walk you through how to make that offer in the most compelling way that you can so you can get the yes. Now, I'm going to teach you how to make an offer, and I want you to realize this is really the second half of a conversation with someone. Obviously, you're not going to start by telling someone what you have and asking them to pay you for it. You've got to have the first half of the conversation where you're listening for what's important to them, what do they care about, what do they need, and what do they want, and then you'll make an offer. One thing that I'll mention is when you get really good at having that first half of the conversation, you can ask questions that will literally sell people right into your program. I'm not going to get into those questions here because I want to focus on giving you the tools to make that offer, but I want you to know it is something that requires some skill and some development, and a lot of what you're doing already is very natural because you're curious, you're interested, you want to help people. So let me fast forward you straight to the part where you get to make an offer so you have these specific steps. When it comes time to make the offer, the first thing that you want to do is say, remember earlier when you said. Okay, remember earlier when you said. And then you're going to fill in the blank with what your prospect said. What did they say their problem is? So if they say, I'm so stressed because I don't have enough time at the end of the day, you're going to say, and if you're a productivity coach, you're going to say, remember earlier when you said you're so stressed because you don't have enough time at the end of the day? And then step 2, you're going to say, that's exactly what I help people with. Remember earlier when you said, fill in the blank with their problem, that's what I help people with. The third step is you're going to give 2 to 3 sentences about your quantum benefit. And in your quantum benefit, you are explaining the transformation that you provide, why your transformation is going to help them. Step 4, give an example or success story so that the person you're speaking with can connect to an emotional or mental picture of what you're talking about. This is where you would use a 30-second case study or success story or analogy so that they understand it on an emotional level. Here's an example from my business of what it would sound like. Now, what you should know is I work with coaches, consultants, healers, experts, and other niche service providers to see what they have valued at a higher price point and then make an offer that other people want to pay for it at premium pricing. So here's how an offer would sound in my business. Remember earlier when you said you felt awkward about asking for more money? That's exactly what I help people with. See, what I can help you do is know exactly what to say and when to say it, so your ideal clients are jumping at the chance to say yes. For example, my client Dawn, when I met her, she had a great 6-figure business. She had been in business for over 10 years, and she was selling 3 months of coaching for $3,000. And after we worked together and she figured out what to say so her clients could say yes to her, her pricing went from $3,000 to $10,000, $30,000, and then finally she was selling $50,000 offers and now is completely out of debt. So do you see how that worked? Remember earlier when you said, fill in the blank with their problem? That's what I help people with. 2 to 3 sentences on your quantum benefit, and then step 4, an example story. Now you know what you need to do to make that offer, the 4 steps to making an offer. And it's amazing because you know what you've got an ideal client in front of you, and just imagine you're sitting there with an ideal client. They're so excited to work with you, and you make your offer using these 4 steps, and now what? Now you've got to say the price. How much do you charge? That's the question. We want to charge more, we want to charge less, not sure what to do. What most people will do at this point is kind of lowball it, make an offer that they think the other person will take. The problem is that for most of us, we know that that lowball offer is not the right price. It's way too low. You know it, and your prospect knows it. And so what ends up happening is if they take the offer at that low price, you have the potential of turning a really great prospect into a really bad client. They're not invested at a high enough level. Maybe they don't respect you the way they should or respect their investment the way they should. And so the pricing is just out of whack. You know you need to raise your price, but you can't get the words out of your mouth. You've got to understand what the right price is so that you can get those words out of your mouth. That's what we're going to address on the next video, which is, what is that price? Why should you charge that much or that little in the first place so that you can make a great sale and have a great client who loves to work with you? See you on video 3.